Hello, this is basically your first online class for STIA1123 Programming 2. My name is Ahmad Hanis Muhammad Shabli. You can call me Mr. Hanis. And today I would like to talk on a few things. So the first thing is that let me properly introduce myself. So again, my name is Ahmad Hanis. You can call me Mr. Hanis, and my email address is at, you can use my full name, ahmadhanis@uum.edu.my, or you can use my private email because sometimes UUM mail might get some hiccup, so you can use my email, my Gmail. You can contact me using my Gmail. My room number is, I believe, 2012108. Okay, it's on level 2. So if you are coming from the main office foyer, so you turn to left. There's a stairs there, so you climb to level 2. Turn to right. A few rooms from there is my room. Alright, so the first thing that I would like to talk is on your syllabus. So this is basically your syllabus. You can download from learning, UUM learning system. So the course syllabus I'm not going to print out for you, so you can just download and see for yourself. Okay, your course name is Programming 2. The code for the course is STIA1123. So our group is group D. Okay, there are a few other groups, so we are in group D. Please remember that. Rationale for this course. So this is a compulsory course for BIT. Semester offer, semester 2, year 1. So you should complete it by now, your programming 1. Credit value is 3. Prerequisite for the subject, your programming 1, STIA1123. Objective of this course, there are 3. Basically, this is you can use this for your own measurement. Understanding the concept of object-oriented programming. So you now need to move on from your previous programming concept, which is more on what we call as a structured programming, where your program or your instruction, everything in just one source code file. And in object-oriented programming, now you need to switch the paradigm. You need to switch the idea of programming towards object. So the short form for object-oriented programming is OOP, double OP. Second objective, to acquire knowledge of OOP language. Okay, and obviously it's in Java programming. Create program based on the OOP. So this is your deliver. You need to deliver your project, your lab assignment. You should be able to write your program using OOP knowledge that is being acquired, and that can be used to solve problems in computing. CLO, so this is basically for technical So this is being used in the teaching. Transferable skills, assessment strategy. So this is basically a mix between teacher-centered and student-centered. Means that teacher-centered comes from the instructor, the class instructor, from myself, and student-centered, you yourself need to look for additional resources that can help you to solve programming problem. Synopsis: this course continue the development of programming. So it is basically from your programming 1 and your problem solving skills, and focusing on using object-oriented programming, and also improve your programming practices. Okay, topic include object-oriented concept, OOP, encapsulation and information hiding, proper program and user-defined class, so you can later design your own class or your own object, inheritance concept, polymorphism, abstract classes, interfaces, exception handling. So this is basically a step up from your programming 1 that focuses only on the basic introduction to structured programming. And in programming 2 also you're going to learn to develop your own graphical user interface application. So you are now moving from a terminal based application to a graphical based application, where your application now can use mouse cursor to press on button and some other graphic or GUI component. And finally, your data will be in list data structure that you can use to store data that user input. Mode of delivery. For programming 2, there will be traditional lectures, practical, this is lab, student-centered learning. So this is you learn on your own based on few guidance given, online learning and project. For this semester, we're going to use more on online learning, where I'm going to do a lot of video online and you can learn from them, because through online learning I believe you can learn more, because you can repeat the video, you can repeat the instruction through the video. Okay, so the standard lecture is going to be very minimum. You're going to learn more through online video, and of course there are a lot of other resources available. Nowadays is the age of the internet, the age of the industry 4.0. so that's basically the idea now. The resources now available at your fingertip. It's very easy for you to look for programming resources over the internet, and particularly Java programming. There are a lot of tutorials that you can get. This is synopsis. This subject basically serve as your reference, as your guideline, as your light post for you to search more, to learn more. For this class, the assessment method that will be used is based on 60-40. Means that your coursework holds 60% of your total marks, and another 40% comes from your final examination. Your 60% divided into quizzes, 2 quiz. There are quiz 1, this is on online. Quiz 2 also, but I believe it's going to be online, 2%, 3%. Quiz 3, even though it labeled as quiz 3, it is basically your midterm exam that will hold 15% of your total marks. quiz for your lab test. So we're going to have one lab test that allow you to you're going to be tested during lab. Assignment 1, assignment 2, assignment 3, this is going to be your lab assignment. And finally your project. Your assignment 3 is your project, problem solving, product development, report, presentation. This is good project. 20% of it will come from assignment 3. And your final exam is 40%. Okay, so 16, 17, this is all for the syllabus technicality of the subject, so you don't have to look into that. Alright, so we're going to move on to your details on your syllabus. Your first topic, we're going to look into introduction to object-oriented. So the idea is that you need to not to take away from your previous understanding how programming works in a structured manner, but this is basically an upgrade for you where you learn new concept to solve real world problem, because real world based on object. Okay, whatever that you see outside is an object. You see that there's a car, there's a bicycle, there's a building, there's a people. This is all real object. So the idea of translating object into programming is a no-brainer. Okay, so even though the instructions comes in a sequence, you give it one instruction, number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, so on and so forth. But when you have more complex application, more interactions, all this now moving towards object idea. So the idea of object-oriented programming start to become more prominent nowadays. Okay, so chapter 1 is going to look into object-oriented concept, and then moving on to predefined class. So based on class, we do what we call it, we put all these things, because for example you have bicycles is a class on its own, because you can have multiple objects under bicycle. There are different type of bicycle. There's a road bike, there's a mountain bike, there's a leisure bike. So all these bike is generally known as a bicycle. So it is a group of a physical object that belong to that class. So we can use the predefined class or a user-defined class in topic 3. A predefined class means that the class itself belongs to the Java, to the Java programming. So we use the predefined class and we can initiate object out of the class. In user-defined class, where programmer can define their own class, for example, the class bicycle, or the class building, the class student. Okay, all these can be defined as a general classification of object. Okay, because object is a derivation from a class. Okay, so object initiate or instantiations from a class. Okay, my bicycle, for example, means that it is belong to me. It's an object, but the bicycle itself share common characteristic, common bicycle character in the class world. And within class, you can have multiple some other concepts such as methods, constructor, array, method overloading. So some other concept that you're going to learn. Moving on from there, you have your inheritance and polymorphism. So this is an advanced concept that will be used in object-oriented programming. So we're going to go details on this special topic on this later. Topic 5, we're going to look into exception handling. So you should be able, because there's there will be no way that any program that we develop will never produce error. So we need to be able to handle this error using special handling. So exception handling allow us to what we call as catch the error. Okay, so we use exception handling. Topic 6, this is on graphical user interface. So how can we design? So this basically allow you to design your application using graphical tools. Okay, you can just drag and drop and design your interface, compared to the programming one where you learn your interaction. User interact with your program through terminal. In programming 2, your application is going to be, your user is going to interact with your application through graphical interface. Okay, so we're going to learn this in topic 6. Topic 7, on file processing, where your application should be able to read external file and write back to that file. So it's something like a concept of data storage. You can store your data when you have user input one data, and you can save that data into a file, and this is where file processing is very, very important to learn. And finally, list. Okay, list, I believe that this is a way of storing data. This is basically how you store data in Java and retrieve the data for processing. Okay, you can use this to add, delete, update, search data using list. And because list is more than compared to the one that you learn in programming 1, list allow for the implementation of object list. Okay, you can have your object stored in list and further to have more complex operation. Alright, so that basically your syllabus up until topic 8. Your main reference, I believe this is nowadays, yeah, you can use this as your main reference, Java and Introduction to Problem Solving and Programming. But of course there's literally hundreds, thousands of books, and of course online reference that you can use on. This is just some of the reference that available. Alright, so that basically your syllabus. Alright, the second thing I'm going to talk about is your online learning system. Okay, so all the content, all the syllabus, all the notes, assignment, labs and everything will be in this UUM learning system. Okay, so make sure that you keep checking you check on your learning system at least twice a day or 3 times a day, because sometimes I share some information or some link website for your reference, or sometimes I put a forum that you need to contribute. It is very, very important. Your class participation will be evaluated based on learning system. So it is very important for you to keep on checking and interact with your learning system. Alright, so the learning based on week. So, and of course you need to keep on check from time to time. That is one thing. Okay, the other thing that you need to use, because UEM also participate in what we call as a MOOC teaching, MOOC. So of course this online learning system is one thing, because this one comes from UUM. The other thing that I want you to look is on the MOOC online learning. There's another resources that can help you to learn and further improve your understanding on programming too. So to do that, you need to go to openlearning.com. Okay, so this is openlearning.com. So what I want you to do is that I want you to register your account here and then look for the subject that has been registered as in this open learning system. Okay, you need to remember this is another system. Okay, you are not automatically registered here. You need to add your own self, your own account through open learning. Okay, so this is a must. Okay, so you need to register yourself. You can create your own account and then log in as a student. You need to look for Introduction to Object-Oriented Programming OOP, and this content belong to UUM. Okay, UUM MOOC. Alright, so you need to complete 4 topics here, and you need to participate in this open learning system. Right, so you can see your progress up here, and basically this will allow you to track your progress, and you can use this as your reference, and also it is very important for you to use this as one of the tools of for learning. Okay, so for example, okay, so there are multiple topics here. There are 4 topics, I believe, in this sections. Okay, so there are 4 topics up until inheritance, polymorphism, and sorry, there's topic 5, exception handling. There's a topic 5, exception handling, that will allow you to progress. But as a student, you can only see one topic at a time. You need to complete, you need to progress. Okay, you need to progress one by one until the end. Okay, you cannot see other topic unless you completed the first topic. Okay, it will basically start with the progress and completion. You can see here, so 3 out of 3. So you need to see, for example, topic 1. There's a 3 activity that you need to do. This is the slides. This is just a PDF slide. This is the video, so you need to start with the PDF. So for example, this is the PDF. There's 2 different slides here, so you need to remember this one belong to MOOC. Okay, the slide might be a little bit different than your slides given through UUM learning system. Okay, so this is the slide. So slide, all you need to do is just you just look at the slide and try to understand the concept for your reference. That for 1. And then once you completed the slide, you can move on to, you can ask questions here and everything. You can comment. I'm going to do some right, so sorry, so and then you can move on to, you can see there's now completed 1 out of 3, and move on to the video. Okay, you can watch the video for your reference. Alright, and then so once you completed on that, finally you can do the activity. Okay, so you need to answer some questions. You can, and then you can submit. So once you completed on that, you can see for YouTube, you need to, for the video here, you need to watch until the end. Okay, so you can see the progress here, completed 2 out of 3, and then you can edit it, and then after that you can continue with the next topic. You can do it anytime. You can do it anytime that you like. This is basically another materials that help you to progress and to understand Java object-oriented programming. And the next thing that I'm going to talk about is your programming IDE. In programming 1, I believe that you will use some simple editor, such as there are quite a number of editors that you can use, such as gedit, even programmer notepad, J++, or some simple editor that allow you to write the codes and compile. But for programming 2, the IDE that we're going to use is NetBeans. Okay, so NetBeans is one of the comprehensive Java programming IDE that you can download for free. You can download from the following website. You can just search JDK from Google and go to the following link: oracle.com tech network Java SE download and index.html. You can download NetBeans with JDK, and this one basically a bundle application that allow you to install NetBeans together with the latest version of Java, and I highly recommended for you to download this version. Okay, so when you click on that link, you need to accept and select the correct operating system for your computer, and I believe most of you running on Windows 64-bit. So download this application, download this installer and install in your computer. I'm not going to show so you just follow with the installation, and it's very easy to do. So just press next, okay, accept whatever that the installer requested, and once you complete it, you can run your NetBeans IDE. So for those who are not familiar with NetBeans IDE, I'm going to show you the basic process of how to use the IDE. So when you start your IDE, compared to your simple Java editor, NetBeans is a full solutions where it allows you to develop complex application, and there's a lot of tools that you can use to simplify your programming experience. Alright, so to use NetBeans, quite simple. So all you need to do is that you need to create a project for every application, for every Java programming source code. You need to create application for it. So to create new project, you just select new project. So for terminal based application, you can choose Java application. Next, give it the names of the project, because your project, for example, your lab 1, your lab 2, your lab 3, you can just give it a name, project name as a lab 1, lab 2, lab 3, so whatever names that you might be interested in. The project location, because NetBeans is going to produce a number of files and folders, so all these files and folders are going to be inside this folder location. So the project location is going to be in the following directory. So you can just copy this directory and save the project into another drive, or you want to share with your friends, so you can go to this project location. Alright, then just press finish. Alright, so here you can see that this site is basically the project directory, so where it produces a number of library and a number of folders and files. So for this application, the file is java application 3.java. so you can see the file is open in this section. Okay, when you click on this is the file, and the file basically automatically created with class name and main method. So it is very simple. Okay, so to run the project, of course there's nothing here to but just to show you the process of using NetBeans, press this button to run this application. Okay, and of course there's no output, and this is where the output is going to be. This is the terminal output. So for example, if I want to use a simple instruction such as system.out.println in the main method, so I just type in system dot, and the good things about NetBeans is that it helps you to do your programming. So when you press system dot, it helps you by listing all the possible options for your programming instructions. So for example, here I just want to use out, press enter, and I want to print, and when I press another dot, you get another list of options that you can use together with the out. Okay, so here I just want to use print line. Okay, just a simple print line. So inside here, this is a test output. Right, so save the file by pressing Ctrl S, and you want to run again, press this or press F6. So you can see the output here. This is a test output. Okay, so this is the terminal application where you can get your output. Okay, so if you have something like some other instruction that you have to use, such as you want to get input from user, the output, the instruction is going to be here, and user can input their data through this terminal. Alright, so I believe that covered the basic of NetBeans and how to use NetBeans. So for the next project, you need to create a new project. Okay, so you give it a names, what type of names, and press finish. Okay, so you're going to create a new project for you. Be sure that you choose the correct file that when you edit, right? Alright, so I believe that